You're on a date with someone new. The conversation flows, you're laughing, he seems nice enough. But then the counting begins. He's not into travel? Cross that off. He doesn't enjoy theater? Another strike. He doesn't own property? Mark against him. No appreciation for wine. And you've already decided there won't be a second date. We all have these dating checklists in our heads. Those non-negotiables we think our perfect partner needs. But what if these checklists are what's keeping you single, but not for the reasons you think? In this video, I'll show you how these lists are actually working against you and what you'd want to be focusing on instead. Now, I gotta say, for everyday life, I love checklists. They help me feel organized and make sure I don't miss anything. So at some point in my dating journey, I thought it's a brilliant idea to have a checklist for all the character traits, all the qualities and features I want in my future partner. And I could add all the things I didn't like about my exes to make sure I won't make those mistakes again. For a long time, it kind of seemed to work. I felt like I know what I'm looking for, and I'm right to be selective because I made too many mistakes in the past. Checklists also help me with dating apps because these apps are built with a checklist mentality in mind. You can filter by height, age, location, sexual position, and any other specific criteria you can imagine. So, where's the problem here? Turns out, these checklists have a serious cost, a hidden cost most of us are not aware of. What you end up with is a shopping list mentality for finding a partner. We're essentially browsing the human supermarket looking for someone who would fit exactly to our specs. But humans aren't items on a shelf. We're complicated, we're constantly changing, and we're full of surprises that no checklist could ever predict. When we rely too heavily on these lists, we force people into boxes we've built, and we do that before even meeting them. Oh, he doesn't like hiking? Next. But what if he's an amazing cook who loves to prepare romantic candlelit dinners at home after sharing stories from your day? You'd never know because you dismissed him at the first no box. The painful truth is that we often dismiss potentially amazing connections before they can even begin. Every time you add another must-have to your list, you're slashing your dating pool in half. 3 non-negotiables, you've already eliminated about 90% of guys. 5 requirements, and you're down to a tiny percentage of the population. By the time you've listed 10 things he absolutely must be or have, you're basically hunting for a unicorn. It's like playing a lottery game where you've made the odds nearly impossible to win. Then you go out on dates with this list in mind, and instead of being present and curious, you're just there to conduct an assessment, or you feel the other guy silently checking items off their list. It can feel like a job interview, and nobody goes on dates hoping for that. And that's far from generating the kind of fun and spark you'd want to have on a first date. There is a completely different way to approach this though. That same date could have felt so much different if you were present and actually seeing the person sitting across from you, not just checking if they match your predefined criteria. It's not about verification anymore, it's about genuine curiosity. Think about this. Many successful couples who have been together for decades wouldn't have matched on paper. I have friends whose partners were initially not their type or didn't tick important boxes on their lists, yet they're in the most loving, supportive relationships I've witnessed. Chemistry and connection just can't be reduced to check boxes. Here's what I realized after years of dating that led nowhere. We think these items on our checklists help us find what we want, but they are not helping us find what we truly need. Here's something most people don't realize. What you think you want is rarely what you actually need. Our wants come from our conscious mind. They're based on things like what society values, what we see on social media, or what we think would impress others, what will bring us validation. But our needs are much deeper. The guy who looks perfect on paper might not give you the emotional support you didn't even know you needed. Meanwhile, someone who never would have matched your checklist challenges you in ways that help you grow or bring stability to your life or simply make you laugh when you need it most. Yes, you should have standards and non-negotiables. You should have those fundamental values that truly matter to you. But there's a difference between standards and checklists, and the kind of standards we'll be talking about here in a second are different from what most people think. And before we get into that, and before we dive into the biggest checklist trap of all, I wanted to invite you to subscribe to my private newsletter. You'll get weekly insights and strategies on navigating gay dating and relationships. Check out the link in the video description. So, what's really going on beneath the surface with those detailed checklists? What's in our blind spots so we're not really aware of? Let's talk real about it. Those checklists are very often a sophisticated defense mechanism. The longer and more specific your list, the fewer people will ever measure up. And if no one measures up, you never have to risk getting hurt. It's much easier to say, I haven't found the right guy because no one meets my standards. It's easier than to admit, I'm terrified of letting someone see the real me. Because that's what real intimacy requires. Being vulnerable, being seen, flaws and all. What many of us call high standards is actually fear disguised as being picky. When you say he has to be financially successful, physically fit, socially connected, emotionally available, and share all my interests, what you might actually really be saying is, I'm not ready to deal with the messy, unpredictable nature of real connection. Here's the crucial difference. Standards are about your core values, how someone treats you, how they treat others, whether they're honest, whether they're reliable. These things matter. Barriers, on the other hand, are just random rules we make up to keep people from getting too close. Standards help you find someone who aligns with what truly matters in life. Barriers prevent you from finding anyone at all. Standards come from knowing your worth. Barriers come from fear. So, if checklists are such a bad idea, what's a better approach? You want real love, a real connection, and you want to focus on what truly matters. What I did, and eventually led me to finding my partner, was this. I shifted my focus from having a checklist of looks, age, occupation, hobbies, all these tiring, endless checklists. I shifted my focus to what I call foundational qualities. The things that truly matter. Does this person show empathy, compassion? Do they handle disagreements respectfully? I observe how they treat me and also how they treat others, service staff, strangers, which can be very revealing about their character. When I'm with them, do I feel seen? Do I feel heard and understood? This isn't about them agreeing with everything I say, but it's about feeling like they're truly present with me. Not just waiting for their turn to talk. Do I emotionally feel safe with them? Can I be vulnerable without being afraid of judgment or rejection? Because here's what I've learned. What keeps relationships strong for years isn't matching on favorite TV shows or hobbies. It's these deeper qualities that really matter. When you're sitting on a porch with someone you've loved for decades, you won't care if they're 6'2" or had a 7-figure income. You'll care that they were there for you during your darkest moments, that they celebrated your wins, that they helped you grow into a better version of yourself. So, be curious. Ask questions that reveal character, not credentials. Watch how they talk about past relationships. Do they take any responsibility, or was everything always someone else's fault? And most importantly, pay attention to how you feel in their presence. Your body often knows before your mind does. Do you feel relaxed, energized, like you can be yourself, or are you constantly on edge? performing, trying to impress. Go on dates wanting to really get to know the person and give people a shot who might not fit your list, but might surprise you with exactly what you actually needed. I'd love to hear your experiences with dating checklists. Just drop your comments here. Did you ever meet someone who broke your rules but ended up being perfect for you? Or do you still think checklists are the way to go? Let me know your thoughts, and remember to subscribe for more videos on gay dating, relationships, and self-growth. Love you all.